Hey everyone, Rick here, and folks, the final piece of the Battlefields of Mana puzzle is in. And as you can see, and I just got a new light for that cabinet too today, which is perfect timing because the spotlight, folks, is on Battlefields of Mana today. This is a package from Eslo Terrain in Germany. Take a look at this. Back in February, we'll say March, because that was the last day of February. So March, April, May, June. It's now July 5th. And oh my gosh, so I've been waiting months for this package to get here. Let's not waste any more time. I haven't looked in here either. I just ripped off some shipping label information, but I have no idea what to expect. Except I actually do. I pretty much know what to expect because I have ordered from these fine folks in the past. I'll leave a link to their website in the description, though unfortunately, I don't know how to promote them anymore because they no longer sell their products directly through the website. There are third-party websites, one of which is Noble Knight Games, which is one of my favorite websites for new and used games and terrain and miniatures and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, so we paid a pretty penny for this stuff. It was about $680 United States. It was €550 at the time. And yeah, so I would normally order all my products from them directly through their website, but they don't sell that way anymore. They kind of made an exception for me because I was like, oh man, I need so much of your terrain. And this was still when they had the website up, and so I made a list of everything, and they were able to produce it and get it out to me. 15mm Wargaming terrain. I have tons of videos online about a lot of the 28mm terrain that I've ordered from them in the past. So go check that out. But this is the first time that I've purchased anything from them in the 15mm realm. After we unbox this, I know you're like, Rick, just shut up and pull out the stuff. Give me just a second, okay? Because this is really exciting for me. And after I unbox all this, I'm going to put it up next to some 15mm figures to see how it looks. But go check out my other videos on all the other Eslo terrain that I've unboxed. It's always been absolutely fantastic, which is why I'm willing to wait months and months to get this stuff from Germany. So let's start off with just going in order of what we find. So here are some fields. And I assume we'll put this out and see it lined up really nicely. There's a lot of this shredded paper material, and I'm not trying to make a gigantic mess. Oh, fantastic. Some hills. Now you may be saying, hills are hills. But I mean, for someone who's not a DIYer like me, the fact that I can get some of these really fantastic looking hills. So this is a hill set with one large hill and a couple smaller hills. Here are some, I believe, like templates, either really shallow hills or templates to put other things on. I'll have to check my packing list because like I said, this was so many months ago. There's going to be stuff in here that I'm just like, what in the world even is this? Here are some steeper hills, and these are honestly the ones that I was really excited about. The ones that, especially for a 15mm figure, you know, especially the way you play Battlefields of Mana, this is probably not going to be a hill that's scalable. I would probably use this as blocking terrain. Let me pause because I need to get a lot of this shredded paper out of the way. Okay, I got a bucket. I got a huge Lowe's bucket. Shout out to Lowe's, by the way. I went to Menards. I went to Batteries and Bulbs. All these stores looking for that light for my display cabinet. No one had it. Guess who did have it? Lowe's. So good for them. I mean, if you're going to call yourself Batteries and Bulbs, maybe have bulbs. Maybe actually have bulbs that, you know, are a little bit unusual and stuff. Despite my best efforts, I'm still making a mess. All right, anyway, at least a lot of that's out of the way. But I mean, it's so cool to see how some of this is like made it this far, especially some of the more fragile pieces. Here's another hill. That's 2. I think I got like 3 or 4 of those same hills. Here's another one. And of course, we'll take a look at a lot of this out of the Ziploc baggies as well. Here's a little building. Yes. Okay, let's take this out right now. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know the roof came off. And there's an interior. Are you kidding me? Oh, fantastic. A little stone hut. God, I just love it. They, and of course, as you can see, it all comes pre-painted. But there's an interior even with a little fireplace. Oh my gosh. You might be able to fit a few figures in there. I love how the roof is done where you can actually see the wood as well. How cool is that? You know, I'll be honest, I was almost second guessing getting these stone huts. How many of them did I get? I'm looking at my little sheet here. Maybe 3 of them? And, yeah, because here's another one. Here they are. So they kind of put them all in the same thing. And I was almost second guessing getting them. Because the way they looked on the website, I was like, eh. But in person, these look so cool. Oh, I'm so glad I got those. And again, I had no idea the roofs came off. Oh, my bucket's already full. God, look at all the shredded paper. Holy cow. All right, what else do we got in here? Here's hill number 4. And so you're like, Rick, all we've seen so far is a bunch of hills and a few stone huts. Stay tuned, folks. There is so much amazing terrain in here. Oh my gosh, like this. Holy cow. So this is one we'll take out of the package later, but it's a big old dwelling. But it's on a hill. But just look at the flowers and the flocking and the detail, and the roof is wrapped up here. But oh my goodness, I have been so excited for this because as you've seen, I have some other 15mm terrain, but it's all very boring. So I really wanted to flesh out my collection. Here's another little hut, little house with a roof that comes off with like a little lean-to over there on the side. But even on this one, look at the little front garden. Oh my gosh, and on the back you got some bushes and some stuff. It just looks so freaking good. Their 25-28mm terrain is amazing. I knew that their 15mm would be just as amazing. Okay. Here's yet another little house. I got a bunch of different buildings. So here's one with more little vine creeping up the back. Oh, hell yes. Oh my gosh. This is what I've been so freaking excited for. The roads. The dirt roadways. I got 90-degree angles, 45-degree angles, several of each. I have intersections. I have short straightaways, long straightaways, four-way intersections. Oh my gosh. This is going to make my Battlefields of Mana battlefields so much more full of character. Oh, there's so much more. That's probably not even half of it, folks. I've got so much stuff. Oh, look at these. Look at these bridges. And you probably can guess, why would you need a bridge? Well, we've got some water features in here also. What is this? I gotta find out, what is this? It's in a box. It has a label on top, but I don't think that's what this is. No. Oh, what even is this? What in the world? Oh my gosh, folks. Look at this church. The top comes off of the steeple there. Does this come off? Yes, of course it does. Oh my gosh, look at how they did the windows. They printed that out, it looks like, and stuck it in there. And look at the effect it has on the outside. God, that's gorgeous. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But here's a perfect example. Now you see it through, the plastic's not in the way. How they do the flocking. That's what impresses me so much. Because not only does it come, painted and assembled and everything, but the way they do the flocking. The kind of the stone pathways, walkways, the flowers, the bushes, the grass, just all around. It's just so detailed. I mean, come on. And I love that they put this in a box. If you've seen some of my other Eslo Terrain unboxings, you'll know that a lot of this stuff does come in these kind of boxes, which is so nice for storage because you can stack this on top of each other, whereas something like this in a plastic bag. I still store them in plastic bags like this because that'll keep the flock and stuff not all over my shelves and floor. Oh, there's so much stuff in here. Oh my gosh. But there's still so much more paper shreddings. Okay, let's open another box. Because these boxes, I don't even know what's in here. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Look at these little rivers. Look at these little rivers. Look at the water. The clear water effects. Of course, I have their 28 mil rivers. So I'm already well aware of how fantastic their water looks. But with all the little flocking and details on the edge, look at this little 45-degree angle. Oh my gosh. And yeah, you better believe, just like I did with the roads, I got every kind of angle in duplicate of everything. So here is a 90-degree. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. This is so beyond. And you'd think, well, Rick, you know what to expect. Well, still, until you have it in your hands. But yeah, so just like I did with the roads, I got every kind of pathway for the rivers, and I assume this next box is full of that as well. Because I wanted such a huge variety. Yep. Yes, indeed. That's what this is as well. I wanted just so many combinations of different ways that the rivers can go, and that's why I got those bridges. You want to try out one of these bridges and see if it fits over this? Let's find out. Look at this. Oh, it's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Yep. Oh my gosh. Now the big question is one of my Battlefields of Mana bases going to fit on this bridge? I don't know. These bases are a little wide. What are they? 2040 65 millimeters wide? No, it's just a little bit too big for a base to fit long ways, but at least it could fit width ways. Oh my gosh. I had to give that a try. Of course, no, I didn't measure it ahead of time. This was the only size bridge they had, but we'll make it work. We will absolutely make it work. All right, so that was all of the water features, I believe. And now it's just straight up buildings. Like this. Look at this little, like, town home. So some of these buildings don't have a template on the bottom of them, which honestly is okay. Because when I'm calculating line of sight and someone's, you know, on the back corner of somewhere over here and I'm doing like, can my archer see them? I'm not going to use this template part to say, oh yeah, the line of fire goes right over this part of the template. No, I would only really care if it nicked the corner of the building. So a building like this, when it's not sitting on grass or anything, is actually kind of ideal, because that's all I care about, is if the building itself gets in the way of line of sight. Oh, we have so many buildings in here. Here's another one. Now this is a slightly different one. Does the roof come off? Yeah, the roof comes off of all of these. For some reason I didn't realize that. This one's about the same. Slightly different color scheme, but it also has like this lean-to in the back. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is a fantastic one. Because this is like just a whole farm just on one big template. And I'll take this out of the package later, but you can see there's like a house there, a barn there, with fencing all the way around, and then a little like an access point. Oh, that looks fantastic. What else? Is that it? No, we got a couple, we have a few more things in here. These fields, is that off? That may be it. And then of course I'll go back through some of that other paper shreddings just to make sure that I didn't like accidentally throw anything out, but I got a bunch of these fields. Just different colors, and they're on like a square bottom. Like here's one more like wheat-ish, and those almost look like flowers. And then this, just a green one. So I got a few fields, which are nice, and I think that's it. Let's turn this thing around. And here's all this stuff. Now I'm going to pull up my Battlefields of Mana table and get some figures down there. We'll take a closer look at all this stuff with some figures, so stick around. All right, folks, here it is, all unwrapped and in its full glory. So here are the two sets of river terrain pieces, which includes 6, and I'm talking both packs combined, equals 6 long straightaways, 4 of the 45 degrees, 2 90 degrees, and then of course we have the 2 stone bridges, a pack of the steep hills, a pack of what I now know are the shallow hills, 4 of these individual like rock encrusted hills, 3 fields, a church, 2 like townhomes, 1 that has that kind of lean-to on the back. An old mill is what this is, so you can imagine maybe this was along a river and the mill wheel used to be there. It's actually called the Old Mill on the website when it used to be available on the website. This farmstead, which is awesome, the barn and the house roofs lift off. 2 of these homes, of course the roofs of all of these things lift off. And 3 of these stone huts, and then 2 of the Roadway packs with a bunch of Roadway add-ons. The Roadway packs themselves each include 4 long straightaways. They're a foot long, just like the river is a foot long for the long one. But in a single road pack, you get 4 long roads and 1 4-way crossroads. So with 2 of those packs, there's 8-foot long roads, 2 4-way crossovers, and then my add-ons include 4 90-degree curves, 4 short straightaways, 4 45 degrees, and 1 3-way intersection. And that is, I mean, look at all that. That's absolutely insane. Especially when you consider Battlefields of Man is typically a 2-foot by 2-foot battlefield. Very simple because you know it's rank and flank, move and wheel. So it's very simple terrain generally. So just a couple pieces of terrain typically in a battlefield. And I'll show you an example here in a second of what a battlefield might look like with this terrain, because I'm super excited to give it a shot. But so this just means I can set up multiple tables at once, or just sheer variety, where no 2 battlefields may look the same. And I'm just happy to now have the terrain basics, the hills, the waterways, buildings and roads. Of course, the one thing you may be saying is missing are trees. And if you've seen my prior videos, I made my own trees. I'm very happy with those. I'll put some of my trees in a clip next to show you what they look like along with these. But Eslo does have their own 15mm terrain packs for trees as well. I just happen to have my own little trees. But look at this. Oh my gosh, it just looks absolutely gorgeous. All right, let's see what maybe an example battlefield might look like. All right, folks, here is a sample setup now. I typically use this table for my Battlefields of Mana games. It's 2 foot by 4 foot, though a typical Battlefields of Mana game is just 2 by 2. Now, these, what would you call them? Game boards. These are 2 foot by 2 foot. You can kind of see I tried to hide the seam there, but so it's just 2 of those butted up against each other. Those are also from Eslo Terrain that I've gotten in the past. Normally I like these, the kind of neoprene game mats. I have a 2 by 2 one here, and I'll put some stuff on there maybe later to show how it matches up. But of course, since the flocking on these boards is the same that they use with their other terrain, you can see how it like just matches perfectly. So I wanted to do a little display setup here first, and I have some Battlefields of Mana figures on the table so we can kind of see how they're looking. And folks, it just looks so good. Now, everything on this table is Eslo Terrain, of course, except for the figures and except for the trees. The trees are my own trees that I made myself. The one thing that I feel, you know, good enough about creating myself. But as you can see, we've got the river in the center with the bridge going across it. We have all these dirt ways with the crossroads and the curves, and then of course all of these buildings and fields, and God, it just looks so just so good in my opinion. And of course, one of the main things is when you're getting terrain for gaming like this, you want it to scale really well. So here is one of the buildings. Here is a Battlefields of Mana 15mm Axeman. And I mean, I just think that that looks so good up against the building. Here's another one. We'll just put him on there. That one even maybe more so, of course, without the base. The figure would look perfect next to that doorway and windows. Oh my gosh. I just can't tell you how pleased I am. So that is an example setup which used not a whole lot, to be honest. I mean, we still have buildings, so many hills. I only used half a pack of the rivers and maybe half of the roads. So yeah, you can absolutely make gigantic setups. Now I'm gonna do just a 2 by 2 on this mat, and we'll see how it looks. Now here might be what you could call a more typical, realistic Battlefields of Mana scenario, where You know, you have just the 2x2. Of course, the flocking on the terrain stands out a little bit more on this darker background, but still I think it looks so good and just adds some more depth to the battlefield. So 15mm alternative armies figures lined up, deployed, and ready for battle. All right, folks, that'll do it. If you stick around till the end, I truly appreciate it. I do have the link to the website in the description, though that's not going to be super helpful because, again, they don't sell through the website anymore, but on the website does have links to other third parties where they resell their products. And I definitely encourage you to pick some up if you're interested in 15mm gaming, 28mm gaming, because they make terrain for all of it, and it is absolutely gorgeous. All right, folks, thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it, and until next time.